Joining me is Matthew Lipman. After 16 years teaching philosophy at Columbia University, he left to found the Institute for the Advancement of Philosophy for Children at Montclair State College in New Jersey. He trains philosophers to train teachers to instruct school kids in the joy of reasoning. Thousands of schools around the country use his program, and we'll see it in action at the Tuscan School in Maplewood, New Jersey. But first, Dr. Lipman, a philosophical question. What is philosophy?
Well, the traditional definition is that it's the search for wisdom. But to me, it's improving reasoning and judgment with regards to the way people make and speak and do things.
Now, we're going to see your program in action in just a moment. Could you kind of help us by telling us what we're going to see, because it's not entirely linear what these young kids go through?
They read from a little children's novel about someone called Elfie, who's about their age, 7 or 8 years of age, and she's talking about her own thinking process. And in the course of that, she deals with some ethical issues and some educational problems that she's experiencing.
And the kids kind of come around in a not entirely linear way.
Right. They sort of form a little community of inquiry in the novel and in the classroom.
Okay. Well, let's...
Last night, I woke up in the middle of the night and I said to myself, Elfie, are you asleep? Okay. So, what was puzzling or interesting in that part? Jacqueline?
If she wasn't a real person, how can she think or talk?
If she wasn't a real person, how could she think or talk? Okay.
How could she have dreams and think at the same time? Why did she? Well, on this movie, this person, this father made a robot, but you always can put like materials over it to make it look like skin and make it look like a real person, so it could go to school and everything, and then its robot brain could learn so much that it would be like a perfect robot.
Can you think of any test that you could give it to find out whether it was a robot or a real person?
Well, you could like throw a needle at it, and if it doesn't go through it, then it would be a robot.
They're exploring concepts together, concepts like what is real, what is a person. They are dealing with the conditions of knowledge, such as that your opinions have to be backed up with reasons, or exploring how you know something, or what evidence do you have for saying something. So there are many things that they are doing that are very similar to what a professional philosopher would do.
But kids don't learn to do this in any structured way normally in school?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we teach syntax, and we teach spelling, and we teach the grammatical rules by which we understand language, but we don't teach the logic, we don't teach the reasoning process, we don't have an approach that tells them what are better and worse ways of reasoning, better and worse ways of thinking.
What is the boundary between doing philosophy as these kids do it and things like discussing values and secular humanism and all the things that seem to cause friction in a lot of school systems around the country?
Well, because we are only concerned with their questions, their problems, the issues that concern them, and helping them think and reason better and to make sounder judgments regarding the things that are problematic to them. Mm-hmm. There's no indoctrination here, there's no imposition of a set of values which any group in the community might say, this is not our values, why are you imposing them on our children?
Philosophy is a kind of a musculature here.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of putting it.
Yeah.
It provides the musculature for thinking effectively, mm-hmm. for reaching conclusions from premises. And without that, you have a kind of feeble, weak way of thinking.
But do you think that a generation of kids trained in this way will be better doctors, better journalists?
They'll be reflective about their own practice, and that's mm-hmm. very important. They won't just be theoreticians who never practice, and they won't be practitioners who mm-hmm. never think. Mm-hmm. They will be people who put theory and practice together.
Yeah.
And I think that's extremely important for what we do. If we can get children to use criteria, for example, when they make judgments, and be able to cite those criteria, then when they get to be teachers and doctors and lawyers and whatever, they will be able to say why they took the position they did and to justify it.
Yeah, and this whole idea of needing people to come in, medical ethicists, for example, really shows a certain bankruptcy in entire professions.
In the entire profession, because the ways in which the professions are taught and the other disciplines are taught too, it's all bricks and no mortar. There's nothing intellectual to hold the parts of the system together so that you think about the relationship, the connections. And one of the stresses of our program is thinking about relationships.
One quick question out of left field. In terms of religion, it seems that this kind of thinking might create a rub with certain kinds of traditional religious thinking, particularly with kids who come from religious homes.
Well, it hasn't. I mean, we're in thousands of schools, and it hasn't. It's true that a few people have occasionally raised the question, is it possible that this will happen with our children? And we try to show them how respectful our approach is to minority positions, and that we, as a matter of fact, stand up for the minorities and the rights of people to have their own beliefs. So when they hear that, they back off.
Yeah. I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it
Oh,
there.
that's
I wish I had taken your class when I was at Columbia.
All right,
Thank
I
you
wish you
very
had.
much.